everybody, and happy summer. Today I am doing a project where I am upcycling a pair of earrings that I got on clearance, and I'm going to turn them into a set, a bracelet and earring set. So my first little prototype is done, and this is the other half of the earring. Let me show you what it is. These are from a discount department store here in my area, and I have purchased these. You guys might remember them from another video, and they were on their second markdown, so they were $10, but I found yet another pair, and these had gone down to $6. And so for me, this is kind of a gaudy earring that I probably would never wear like this. I mean, I think it's cute, but in reality, I would probably never put that in my ear. So I took this one apart, and this is going to be the charm on my bracelet, and I'm going to turn the top part into the cutest little watermelon drop with a drop. And you'll see, I'll show you what my bracelet situation is going to look like, but I'm going to really gently just disconnect this. Not much to this deconstruction process here. You do have to be careful with this type, because if you snap that off there, there's really no way to fix it. I mean, then it would just be a stud earring, but I really want to dangle my things from it. So I'm going to just gently remove. So I have an extra watermelon charm, and this is ready for my little teardrop. So let me pull in my tray here and show you what I have. I've literally just gone into my stash and shopped in my own seed beads, and I chose two greens, which is what you see here, and I chose this gorgeous watermelon color. Here's my little watermelon seeds. I'm going to dot everything with gold, and the white is my rind. So this is like a little metaphorical, just a little metaphorical, like a piece of watermelon. My bracelet is going to be on maybe 8 rounds of memory wire. I haven't actually decided. I think I have 9 here, but I'm going to start stringing, and I'm going to basically do the same thing on my bracelet that I did on my earrings. But I'll go ahead and do the earring with you first, and I just wanted to show you, if you missed this video, I can link this one. I did this little metaphorical watermelon also with a discounted earring that was these watermelons, like 3 or 4 of them connected together. For me, that's just a really gaudy earring. I would never wear it. It's not my style, but I took it apart and I used one of the sections of the earring for the charm on this bracelet, and we had a bead box that had these beautiful check glass colors, and so I just did strung them to look like a watermelon, and I love this. I have worn this all summer. I put this little magnetic clasp on it. So this is going to be another version. I probably won't even be able to layer them, because this one's going to be multi-round as well. So this is my white quartz soft flex 49 strand bead stringing wire and a number 2 soft flex crimp tube. They're gold filled, and they have triple the wall thickness, I meant to say, of a regular crimp tube. And I'm going to just string this little pattern to match. And why this is so short is because it's out of my scrap bag. So if you keep your snips when you have finished a bracelet or a necklace, you can make really wonderful little components out of them. It's a scrap and it's short, so you do have to kind of work with the shortness. But I'm going to string the exact pattern that I did for this earring, and just really the gold is just to dot it with a little brightness. You could omit that, and certainly you could do this in silver or copper if those are your metals that you like. But I just made a teardrop hoop for my earring drop that just mimics like the sweet juicy flesh part of the watermelon, and then goes up to the white of the rind. And let's see, what did I do here to copy this pattern exactly? Okay, so I'm all strung. There's my pattern that matches my other one, and like I said, you could do more green and more of the other watermelon colors if you want your teardrop to be longer, but I do like a little bit smaller earring. And then I'm going to put my number 2 crimp tube on both strands, and like I said, I'm working with a scrap from my scrap bag, so it's a little challenging sometimes to hold on to everything, but I really love not wasting, and I love clearance shopping and upcycling and, you know, cutting things apart and remaking them. And so that's what I'm doing with these gorgeous, because, you know, like I always say, if you went online to try to find pave crystal watermelon dimensional slices like this, if you even found them, it would be really expensive. And I'm getting like several more pieces of jewelry from a $6 clearance purchase. So I just love that. Okay, Joey, stop talking, make your loop. I'm gonna make a loop and feed it back down through my crimp tube. And like, because it's a scrap, I might have to get my pliers in here to help me, because there's not a lot of working wire here. And I just want to match my loop to the other side as best that I can. And pull everything tight. Pull my teardrop tight. Let me look at my other one. A little bit smaller. So that's what I have, and I'm going to use my magical crimping plier. I'm going to fit my tube right in the very center of that divot. Like, I can feel that it's not in the center. Okay, now it just settled in, and then I'm going to close it. Just forming that tube into a little bead. And now I'm just going to come in with my cutters and cut as close as I can. That looks gorgeous. And I'm going to feed that onto that tiny little loop that I just opened and really gently put it back into place. And on these types of loops that are soldered to your finding, definitely don't try to pull it apart. Try to go side to side and very gently, so that you don't weaken the metal, because these are really not meant to be open too often. So my beautiful little pair, where's my other, oh, it's right here. Can't see it. And I love that they're mirrored. I love that the watermelon slices are facing each other. It's so sweet. And what I will do, and many of you have seen this before on my channel, the Permalac protective coating in the semi-gloss can be brushed over these crystals so that this gold metal plated backing does not turn dark, and the crystals will still sparkle with the semi-gloss. And I'm going to do my charm and both my earrings. I do that usually at the end of my videos when my pieces are all done. And I have some other little charms ready to go here. I just went into my stash and I had 2 of these little flat flowers and a few little check glass leaves left over from something, and a gold spacer and a tiny little ball head pin. And I had 1 of these left over. These are left from my spring projects, and so I just did this little dangle. So I'm gonna have like the little summer flowers or field flowers with a watermelon charm, and I'm so excited. And this is like such a fun stringing project, just really, really easy. So if you're not familiar with memory wire, it's a stainless steel cable that holds its shape, and it is really tough to cut. So if you look in my description box, I have a section for memory wire, the oval, the round, and also the tools. You will really damage your regular jewelry cutters if you try to cut memory wire with them. So this is the special cutter for the stainless steel cable. And I also, forgive my noise and my reach, but I also have these snub nose pliers, which are made for turning the ends if you want to put loops on memory wire. You can also glue on end caps, but I'm going to do loops on this one because, as I said, I have these charms to go there. But you can also use these for other things as well. They have this nice sturdy box joint, so you don't put pressure on your regular jewelry pliers, you know, turning loops on memory wire. So let me show you how I have cut these coils. I'm going to do a triple turn on the end. You can do it single, you can do it double. I just like the way that it looks, kind of thick, a thick loop at the end. So I have cut my memory wire so that one cut end is here and one cut end is here, because when this is on my arm as a bracelet and when this is coiled back, my charms will be sitting across from each other, if that makes sense. I will show you what I mean. But I'm going to start by turning 3 loops with the smaller side of my snub nose plier. And for me, I like to turn my loops upward, and I do a better job if I'm turning toward me. I do a better job of getting my loop in there. And so what I've learned is that with the small barrel of the snub nose plier, it takes about an inch of length of memory wire to do 3 loops. So maybe my experimentation will help you if you're trying to figure out how much extra space to leave. This is going to be a really forgiving pattern because I'm only stringing seed beads, and I can adjust my colors and my length so easily on this one. So this is like, if you've never done a memory wire bracelet before, this will be a really easy project for you to start with. But I'm just going to keep rolling back until I have 3 coils. You can do 2, and I have seen people that really like to do their coils in the other direction, but I don't. I like them up so they're not biting into my wrist. And I'm going to stop right when my cut is really not showing anymore. So that's my beginning. And so now I can string from this side and just let my beads coil down and they won't fall off. But if you're not sure of your pattern and you don't want to start out with a turned loop, you can use the back of an earring and slide it right on the other end. The silicone backs work really great as stoppers while you're working out your pattern. So let's start stringing, and of course the first thing on a watermelon is the darkest green for the rind. So I'm just going to string my plan is 2 coils of each color, basically, is what I was thinking. But I might, when I get to it, I'll see how it looks. I might only do 1 coil of the white rind part and do 3 of my watermelon flesh part. So I'm just going to string just like this, and just let my beads go down, just like when you start out, especially when you're doing so many rows, you have to be patient and coil everything down to where you turned your loop. So I'm going to do all this off camera, obviously, because I can't imagine that anybody would want to watch me coil all these seed beads. But I'm going to start with the dark green, go to the light green. Next would be at least 1 row of my white, and it's going to really repeat this and then go into my flesh, my watermelon sweet and juicy part, dotted with some black and some gold. I like to dot my white with the gold. It just makes it pop a little bit. So I'm going to string, and I'll be back and show you what this is looking like. Okay, I've been stringing away, and it's really random. Let me get these swirled down to where I'm stopping at, and I'll show you what we're looking like. So as your seed beads fill on, you start to see where your coils are going to lay against each other, and you can really, it's like I said, very forgiving. So I wanted 2 rows of my white rind, and I just randomly dotted my white with my gold seed beads, and now I am randomly dotting my watermelon color with my black seed beads for the seeds. And I'm just going to continue going around pushing everything down until I am within about an inch of my cut end, and that's where we'll do the final coil. So let me see where I'm at. Another black. I'm just going to keep stringing. I just wanted to touch base, show you guys like where I'm at. I know that I'm off camera picking up the beads, but I just wanted to show you a little bit of the process. It's really relaxing, not difficult, but not really entertaining to watch someone do this. I've been counting anywhere between 9 and 12 of my watermelon seed beads, and then adding a black for the seeds. And I'm just going to fill this up all the way to the end and keep spiraling down. My last few rows are going to be the pink juicy part of the watermelon, so I will meet you back as soon as I've strung to the end. Okay, I am all strung. I am so excited about how cute this is. I have about an inch here, well, a little bit more than an inch. Maybe I will add a couple more seed beads. I did 8/0 seed beads, and these, I believe these came from Hobby Lobby if you're an American friend, and they are actually called watermelon, and they did such a great job with getting this color just right. It really does look like the color of watermelon, and it's luminescent. But as I said, I've done a similar design with check glass faceted rounds. So you know, I go in your stash, you guys, and see what you have to do this with. I'm just going to add a few more because I do want about an inch on the end. And I'm going to just come back with my snub nose plier and same thing, just line myself up with the smaller barrel and just get my first, I'll get my first little curve in there. And I'm going to do the same thing, get my hand in the right position. And now I'm just going to coil toward me and just try to get 3 in here. It's not an exact science, at least it never has been for me. But I do find that if I have that inch of space and if I turn my coil toward me, that I get it pretty good. So yep, I got 3 on each side. And so I was just going to show you guys, I think that all of these are just check glass beads. They're rocaille. They're not perfectly uniform. So this project is great because your seed beads can actually not be super expensive ones like you might buy for a bead weaving project. But I just chose 2 greens. If you want to do a screenshot, this one's opaque dark green. This one is opal, what is it? Opaque light olivine. This one is watermelon, and then I just used some check glass 8/0 seed beads in opaque white, and I dotted my white with this metallic gold 8/0, and I just, from my stash, I had some Miyuki 8/0 black round seed beads. So if you want a screenshot, like if you want to use what I used, there you go. And this is so cute. It is so, so cute. And so what I was thinking is that I wanted, instead of putting my large watermelon charm hanging from one of the loops, I would like it to like sit over probably back here maybe. So in order to put on an 8-strand bracelet, you really have to keep your coils separately because it has to go on your wrist like this when you wear this. But you know, if you were doing this with anything but seed beads, a bracelet with this many coils, in fact, I'm going to slip this one off because it's getting a little bit busy with watermelons in here. And just slip this one off. So I do need to kind of keep these, loose enough that I can put it on my wrist. And so I'm going to try to create a jump ring where I can hang my large watermelon from just 2 rounds of my beads, if that makes sense. Let me take it off and I'll show you what I mean. This is so fun, you guys. It's just so fun. I love it. I mean, really and truly, there's a little voice in me that says just leave it plain and just wear it like that because it's just so cute. But I can't leave that alone. So what I am going to do is make a couple of wire wrapped loops on these very fine ball head pins, and these are going to go on the loops that I turned. Okay, so my little charms are ready, and I'm going to take some jump rings and add those to my triple wrapped loops so that they dangle a little bit, just some small jump rings. Okay, so I have my little flowers there, and now for my big watermelon. And I think that I want to attach my large watermelon on this side. So I'm just going to open this jump ring, and I'm going to just grab 2 of my coils. Just going to put it through just 2 of my coils, and then I'm going to add my watermelon right to that. Now I was even thinking I might want to do a small jump ring onto this jump ring, but I'm going to try this and see if it works. I've never connected a charm to a multi-strand or multi-round bracelet like this, you know, memory wire bracelet. So I wasn't really sure if it was going to work, but again, because of all of the coils, I have to be able to put this on. So let's see if that's going to allow me to get my arm in there. Okay, it is on, and it is so cute. Oh my goodness. Let me turn it this way. Get all my coils on top of my arm. Look how cute this is. Oh my goodness. I just love it. It even has a little jingle, which I didn't expect, but look how pretty this watermelon bracelet is. I just love it. I just had fun with my seed beads and these little earrings, and like I said, I'm going to brush my Permalac coating on my bracelet and on my earrings and just brush it over everything. And so check the description box if you need memory wire supplies. The oval memory wire is linked there, as well as the special tools needed for it. And you know, shop around your clearance stores and thrift stores for cool little charms, or you can make your own. I do have a video that I did this summer, and I did a little watermelon charm using seed beads, so you could even make your own watermelon charm for a bracelet like this. But this is even cute just plain. It's really cute, just the coils as a watermelon. So I thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody is having a great summer. You guys drink lots of water. It is hot out there for most of us wherever we live right now, from what I'm seeing in the news. So everybody take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, friends. Oh, he hears me. Goodbye.